Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode, we're going to be doing something that I don't get to do very often, and that's cover a little bit of a batch update. Now, if you're a fan of the show, you might have seen me cover this fairly recently, about episode 220. I'm on episode 256 now, so about 30 or so episodes ago, I was able to cover the Douglas Laing Gauldrons batch 4. Now here I have the batch 5. So what we're going to do today is talk about the differences between the two, if there are any, but I'll give you a quick rundown of what we've got here in case you missed the previous video. This is one of the remarkable regional malts range, easy for you to say, and they cover regions from around Scotland. So you have a Lowlands one, a Highlands one, an Isle and Islands, etc, etc. Normally, they go for relatively little money, about £35 each. They're a blend of distilleries from that area, and they are just continuous core releases. This one is the Campbelltown version of it, but it's batch release, hence the batch numbers. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily cover like the differences between the big peats, for instance, because I don't know when new batches come out or if there'll be any differences at all. So we'll be assessing this to see if I match my notes. I've gone back to check those and see if I get the same things again, or any differences, whatever. It's worth noting this is a 46.2%. It's about 50 quid, so it's a little bit more expensive than the other in the range, in the remarkable regional malts range. Easy for me to say again. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that, so try saying it 50 times over really fast. It's a blend of potentially 3 distilleries. There's only 3 in Campbelltown now. There used to be about 80, but now there's 3. You've got the Springbank Distillery, Glengyle Distillery, and the Glen Scotia Distillery. Obviously, people like the Springbank Distillery make loads of different kinds of whiskey as well in different ways. Peated, unpeated, triple distilled, 2.5 distilled, all that kind of stuff going on. We don't know what of that is in this. Probably not worth worrying about it too much. I'm sure there's a few people at Douglas Laing that might tell you if you ask them, but it is to be enjoyed in its own kind of ball of influence, let's say, sphere of influence, better than ball. Let's check out on the nose then and see what we've got, shall we? Now for me, it's still very herbal, still very grassy. There's quite a lot of malt on it, but it's not so youthful. We don't know the age statement on this. We know it's natural coloured and non-chill filtered, all the good things. Still don't know an age. So there could be some fairly young stuff in here, but I'm willing to bet it's at least a decade old. Likely to be entirely ex-bourbon casks, but again, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's got a lot of maltiness, a lot of biscuitiness to it. There's some sweetness there as well, so general vibes of grassy, biscuity, sweet, that kind of thing. Cereal notes. Let's try on the palate. There's an initial sweetness there, for sure, more biscuit. The finish is really quite long. It's like medium-y long with some spices on the back end there. The interesting thing about this and the last batch is that I saw some tasting notes floating around on the internet about a kind of peat level to it. Now for me, I'm not the best taster in the world for sure. I don't really get much peat on this at all, if anything. Yeah, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't, if on a blind tasting, I wouldn't pick peat out on that at all. So it might be worth a go if you're looking at traversing into that world, getting the kind of potentially peaty undertones. If that's your bag, you might be able to taste it where I can't. But it's certainly not heavily peated in any way, shape or form. I think it's a pretty damn good dram, and I did last time as well. But the thing about it is, it's a little bit more expensive than the other ones in the range. It's almost, you should consider it separate to the range. 35 quid for normal, these ones are 50 quid. So the justification, I guess, is that you're getting a much more narrowed down view of a couple of distilleries rather than up to 5 or 6 different distilleries in the blend. They're prestigious distilleries. The Campbelltown distilleries are all quite prestigious. So you're getting a very well-rounded whiskey. Now, in terms of viability, I would say if you're the kind of person who loved the previous batches, you've tried the previous batches, then definitely get this. If you've tried the others in the range, in the remarkable regional malts range, and haven't tried this yet, go out and get a bottle. If you've tried this before, didn't really like it that much, then don't bother. It's not much different to the other ones. And if you haven't tried any of the range, of the Remarkable Regionals range, then start on the cheaper ones first before you move on to this. I don't think there's anything in this that surpasses the others. Like the Big Pete, for instance, and even the Islands one, the Rock Island now. Very fantastic drams. Probably a little bit younger than this, but a great place to start if you're getting into the world of Douglas Laing. This certainly has its place, and if you like the sound of some of the stuff I was saying there, then you should probably get it. And if you didn't like the sound of those things, then you probably shouldn't. That's probably about as fair as you can be to it. I really like it. I would definitely go out and buy the future batches if they come my way. Not the easiest things to get hold of. You can get hold of them on Master of Malt and things like that, but I have never seen one on the shelf. That said, if I lived in Scotland, I probably would see it on the shelf. I live in a bit of a no whiskey bubble in my city. No one really cares about whiskey down here. I have to go to other cities to get involved in whiskey activities. I digress. It's a very good whiskey, well worth the 50 quid in my opinion, but it might not be to you.